Game number 1 was merely a setback for L5 as they've been able to take a 2-0 lead here so far in this best of 5 going up against Nomia. We're about to get into game number 3, guys, and right now, as much as Nomia was able to make a better struggle there in game number 2, they are still struggling in this series.
They definitely are, but they said from the beginning that they're very well aware of the underdog role they play in the match and that they are just using it to get as much experience as possible. And of course, if they see an opportunity, they're going to pounce on it. But I think they're just currently showing that they are able to, at least in a lot of these fights, go toe-to-toe with the Koreans, and that alone is impressive.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few moments that maybe they didn't have to take, maybe they did have to take during that game, but how do they now approach the third game? I mean, this is potentially Nomia's last game of the mid-season Brawl. So everything has to come out, surely.
Yeah, I think that describes how they have to approach it. You know, between what we saw through draft and then the outcome of the game number 1 through the last one, this is the Hail Mary play here for Nomia.
All right, well, we're about to find out in just a few moments' time here what the map is going to be as these two teams looking poised and ready to go. That 2-0 victory at the moment for L5. Staring them down, looking good. And there's a lot of talent on Nomia's team, of course. We've talked about these guys. We've talked to them many a time. It's for them coming and kind of trying to resurge from the position that they are in NANZ is quite the feat, to say the least, here.
I always get a laugh when we have Fat94 in an interview because he talked to me afterwards and he said, I have to be so careful when I'm in an interview because he has that very direct Australian approach where he just drops whatever he thinks. And he said several times, I really need to be careful what I'm saying because normally I just spew out my thoughts. But I love that about them, that they're so direct, they're very critical of themselves, their own performance. It's really refreshing.
So we're going to be on Warhead Junction, and it was Nomia's pick.
Which is exactly why we were talking about the Cursed Hollow ban and how that is not what we've seen from them so far in this tournament. It's to allow them to move into the Warhead, which has been the most common ban here for Nomia in the tournament. So this is exactly what we, I guess, expected. A Hail Mary, at least the map is indicating that they have a unique, creative strategy to try and catch L5 off guard.
All right, game number 3. It's all on this for Nomia. They win here, or they are eliminated from the mid-season Brawl as L5 has first ban.
And immediately we're going for the globals. Dehaka banned right away. That leaves us with Falstad, the pseudo-global on Illidan, who is also banned out immediately. So I'm curious to see what Nomi has up their sleeves here.
I want to still, I'm keeping track of L5 and what they think with the Abathur here because I know it hasn't shown up too much in their drafts, but again, I feel like a lot of it is they're hiding it. That they don't want to show their priority whatsoever into L5, and I just want to see L5 take it, or Nomia, excuse me, take it away.
The thing about L5 is that they've always relied on a global in the early part on these large maps. With Dehaka and the pseudo-global with Illidan out, Falstad is always their go-to #1 pick, and they're not even doing that. Preparing for the potential skirmish, the team fighting that Nomia might bring.
Wow, Task Tracer.
That's...
Ooh. Okay.
I was actually going to say that for L5, but Nomia's just like, no thank you, I'll take it first.
Do you think they really needed to pick the Tracer on the 1?
There is no way they get both of those heroes on the backside of this draft. They have to take it there, or they do not get either.
No, but I think they can take the Tassadar, but they don't. Do you really feel they have to commit to the Tracer right away?
Like Warhead Junction, if I'm L5, the only thing that Nomia can take me out with is Tassadar Tracer on a big map. I would flat, just especially with the Illidan band out, like it just screams Tracer is coming your way. So yeah, I think that they absolutely have to.
You're right about that. With the Illidan ban coming in that early, compared to the normal other bans that we've seen coming in, I mean, yes, okay, it's good for the potential hunt plays and stuff like that, but if you want to go down the Tracer path, it seems very important.
It also makes Falstad a little more scary to pick into that. If Tracer can just dive on that in any team fight, Falstad now becomes a little bit more of a liability. I mean...
Wow, the
Brightwing. Match some globals.
That's actually a nice, I like that adaptation. I'm surprised to see it come out before the second ban phase. I feel like that indicates that L5 might have interest in maybe a double support, even though it doesn't feel that good with the rest of their composition. But just that Brightwing pickup into the Tracer, because having a point-and-click hard CC is absolutely crucial. The best part about Brightwings is its range, and then it's convenient that you have the global factor there. And Nomia essentially conceding all opportunity to be able to match globals now, as they are the ones who ban out that Abathur.
I mean, we still have some that they could be. You could go into a Zagara, which I would have said at the beginning of the draft would be a good idea. And now, of course, the situation has changed slightly. But with at least getting the Abathur out, so you don't run into any problems with Brightwing and Abathur jumping in. I was even thinking about a Zeratul maybe at some point being picked up in that combo.
I feel like if Nomia was into the Zeratul, I like it in the fact that Zeratul can always win the video game. You know, he's one of the high-impact heroes. Compositionally, I don't know if it's going to be able to accent that play, but I feel like that's exactly what you need if you're going to be successful against L5. Is like this double offensive Void Prison, again, Hail Mary style play, but they're going to keep it traditional with just a Mouth Murd in rotation.
Again, on the side of Nomia, they traditionally run 2 backliners, 2 frontliners with a support. Like, I just don't know if that's something that they want to go. It's just the way that they play. And L5, you know, the Brightwing, as Dread said, is the polymorph into the Tracer is the biggest thing. And if you can follow up on that, if a Nubaret can follow up the stun, it used to be the old Brightwing into an ETC power slide, blow up composition. Now what does L5 try and do with that?
I was thinking about maybe them even getting, I mean, originally before they committed to the Brightwing, they could have gone into one of the old counters to the Tracer and just simply say we're dropping a variant together with the Anubara, try to get the charge, hit the taunt, and then Greymane can capitalize on it. Then you go really in on the defense against the Tracer, though. Can argue if you really have to do that, especially now that you already picked Brightwing up.
Oh, they're going for the Chen. With the lack of interrupts on the side of Nomia, only having, really, it's just going to be Murd in. And if you're Stormbolting only, to be able to stop that brew is not going to be a good time. Probably expect Nomia to move into maybe a Skullcracker to be able to deal with that. But overall, L5 picking up that Chen is just, again, saying you don't have the damage to be able to, or the CC to deal with us.
I mean, outside of E-Stars drafts, Chen has been one of the surprises of the tournament for me. Is that fair to say?
I think it's fair to say because it's mainly due to this high offense play style. Lacks usually typically in CC, and Chen is a perfect, when you have no CC, he thrives. And then also, squishies are weak against this type of meta. Chen is a direct counter to both of those things. It's awesome he has that element, but I have been surprised at how frequent. You know, I wasn't surprised that here and there, but it's like Chen's a thing, you know, at the midseason Brawl, and I did not project that.
Especially with the Abathur, we've seen that combo quite a few times now. And of course, if you play him on a lane where or on a map where you have a traditional solo lane, he just thrives.
Baby.
Okay, L5's approach to this is really scary on the side of Nomia for me, is that the way that their draft is set up is that they have the tank control between Tychus and potentially Greymane post 10. So they have the tank control. They've got the CC control. So whether you're flanking, you've got the polymorph onto Tracer. Whether you're trying to engage in the front, you've got Murden being dealt with by Tychus and Greymane. And then you've got Chen, who won't be interrupted, just diving onto Malfurion. So at what point on the side of Nomia do you say, I feel confident in one dynamic of my team fight?
You don't. And
Where
you
is
say,
that?
I'm over it. I'm going for the Task Tracer picks if I can get him in my forehand, and I'm going for laser build split push Azmodan.
Yeah, that's what we need to talk about.
So I know they ran it in scrims. I know that they ran the Azmodan in a few scrims. I have to admit that I haven't watched those, though.
Okay.
But this is definitely not something where they just go, screw it, we go Azmodan.
Oh, yeah.
They actually scrimmed that strategy on several maps against at least some of the European teams, and I believe they also used it against some of the Americans.
So my fear is if for some reason they go into stacking, you know, Azmodunk, traditional Azmodunk, it's good into the Brightwing. Brightwing is very weak at supporting that onto her own. She just doesn't have the heals directly to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
But there's nobody else to help stack. It's too slow of a gameplay to be able to move up against L5. They need to be effective 1 through 9. So I really, really hope this is full laser build one-on-one, because if Brightwing tries to match him while he's split pushing, he just bodies her. Absolutely destroys her. And so I think that's really crucial for this game.
I mean, traditionally we have Sieging Wrath taking over Taste for Blood, unless you're on a small map where you can double soak, so they can get that damage at least in.
All right, guys. Got to get the predictions starting with you, Kaldor.
Still L5. They're just mechanically too strong.
Yep.
Exact same reasoning, exact same team. I'm going to go with L5 for me as well.
Jay, how?
First things first, I know that Claire definitely has never played basketball. Secondly, I've got to go L5.
I played it when I was in high school.
Clearly.
This is how you dribble, right?
I don't know.
This is sports ball.
Look, right, just because you're 7'9". Anyway, never mind. Well, let's see what the chat thinks. They want Nomia to win, and let's see if they can with a very interesting and varied draft going into Warhead Junction. We're heading over to the casters. See you in a few.
Come on and slam. welcome to the jam. It is Asmodan. This morning on the Warhead Junction, we are heading into our map number 3 in this first game of the day. And Grubby, would you like to introduce the team on the left?
How did you know, Tetcher? You know me so well. L5 in the blue from Korea. It's going to be Noblesse on Anubarak. Nacho Chin on Greymane. Swoi on Brightwing. Jongha on Chen. And SCSC on Tychus.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is going to be Nomia, where we have playing for them Arkina on Tracer, John on Tassadar, Vanilla on Malfurion, Robotoba on Muradin, and Fat94 on Asmodan. Oh, yes. So,
all right. So I want to see if Nomia is going to be running Demonic Wrath, the demons, or if he's going to go Blackpool. There is a thing where you just bypass all the defenses, go straight for the keep, throw your ult, and then try to just run it down.
Is that not usually laser build though? Because we're starting
you don't
with Sieging Wrath.
You don't have to. Sieging Wrath is better, and it also sells the idea better.
Okay. Well, he did just go for... He did just get 3 stacks in one shot already. So
GG.
Good start. Good start. But yeah, other talents, fairly regular from pretty much everyone else. Brightwing with the teleport cooldown reduction to give her some mobility around this map, allow her to assist her team even more. Tychus with the extra attack range. A Noob not going for the spell block because the only thing it's really good effect is maybe Tracer, instead going for the regen master.
Yeah, Tracer, part of her bomb is percentage-based damage, which bypasses armor. Of course, the explosion itself can be mitigated, as well as the Asmodan dunks, which should not be underestimated. Moreover, regeneration globes are fairly rare and far apart on this map, so I am surprised by the Nubarak level 1 choice.
Yeah,
and then in the end of the day, it's one talent.
Yeah, I think he is maybe expecting the Asmodan to be split pushing so that he won't have to deal with those dunks. Right now, Asmodan is doing the world's slowest retreat because he was lasered and is now dead. So first blood going over to L5.
Back, and he's crawling
really slowly.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a problem because no one is around for Nomia. And also, Nomia didn't call out MIA.
Yeah, no one's reacting. Nope. And now they've lost 2 towers and the gate. And still no one's reacting, so they're not going to miss the wave, though. There's no towers actually left to kill it, so now that they're down here, they can actually get some XP. Swoi taking some huge harassment from Arkina. Polymorph is used. Stun is not dodged, as Arkina goes in, drops the bomb. Aggressive move here. Rewind having to be bombed. Arkina getting chased out. Oh, the blink to dodge the burrow charge. Nicely done. Now they turn the damage onto Noblesse. He drops the stun, and that will keep him alive. Arkina killed by the cocktail and the grenade at once. And we also see Fat94 getting zoned out away from that nuke. So far, none picked up.
And, you know, Fat94 is using Asmodan, but he's using his laser. That's kind of an issue. There is no way that anyone on L5 is going to voluntarily die to a laser one-on-one. So you might as well never use it. It was such a hard bait by Greymane there, where he says, you're gonna laser me, I got my buddies coming, and you have 40% movement speed on account of using that laser. Just a really big mistake, and you know, Calder said Asmodan has been used by them in the past, but you never use laser in a 5 versus 5 or one-on-one. Like, maybe if you know all the stunts are down on the opponent team, you can use laser. Well, anyway, Jongha, he's gonna go in, he tries to use his survivability to outlast Tracer, and Brightwing comes in, he nearly died. But the important thing here is Nomia gets the nuke.
Oh, Tracer still wants it, but Jongha dropping a little bit of counter damage. Like you said, got the nuke, not gonna risk going in with that.
A big experience lead for L5. Their rotations have been better. Nomia has been kind of slow and rusty. Now we see the nuke landing on the middle, getting pretty much every building there.
Yep.
Generally, the first nuke will be used in the middle, get the towers to 20% life, destroy the fountain, and get a bit of fort damage. Every next nuke afterwards will be centered on the fort, as the middle of the nuke does double damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 50% more, I believe.
50% more, yes. With the center of the nuke, which is why focusing it on the fort or onto the core, or whatever the target you want to kill, sometimes that is a boss point, then it is the most efficient way of doing so. But like you said, at the start, spreading out that damage, giving you more chance to kill with your actual hero damage instead of burning a second nuke.
Now, anytime that L5 goes missing for a while, they can use Greymane +1, doesn't matter who, to solo the boss. I guess that would be a duo, isn't it?
I would guess
but
so,
I mean, people call a selfie when there's 2 people in it. I call it a Ussy, but hasn't gained a lot of traction yet, Tetcher.
Well, I'm using it now. That's brilliant.
So I guess he can solo the boss with one buddy helping you.
Indeed. So we just saw Chen's shield jump up there. He's gone for bolder flavor as opposed to that Brewmaster's balance here. So he gets an instant shield when he starts brewing, and it persists for an extra second, giving him maybe a little bit more escape potential. Not so much in terms of movement speed, but in terms of blocking damage, but Tracer able to pick up the Tychus there.
Yeah, Nomia's first blood this series. They get the Tychus in the mid lane, and this is actually huger than I can tell because Azmodan has mid lane all to himself, and Nitrogen goes down as well. Nice rotation by Nomia, get the second blood.
Nomia picking up lots of kills here. The Brightwing, even with that TP reduction, not able to be everywhere at once. She doesn't have the shield either, instead going for Cleanse, which is really only going to affect Malfurion and Muradin, but better than nothing. Muradin, by the way, also reacting to this Chen, giving these consistent shields, going with the Skullcracker. Consistent stuns if he's able to jump onto that Chen, trying to prevent those brews.
Yeah, and another nice thing about Muradin on this map, you can Skullcracker opponent heroes to stop them from channeling the nuke. Big damage here on the Nubarak. Actually, it was freaking tiny. Didn't even get through the shield.
Very nice.
Of course, Nubarak has 20% base spell armor, so until he gets the Quantum Spike at level 10, Tracer will not be able to kill Nubarak all that easily.
Very true. Tychus trying to clear up, but the fort still does go down. That is actually going to be the first fort of the game going to Nomia at a 4-nuke phase as they begin to split up. Fat94 can move on to bot one, but Brightwing is already there, so that will be a very slow duel. Robodoba attempting to deny the top one, but he doesn't have reinforcements on his own, so he may actually be under duress. Mid, though, picked up by Nomia. Currently 1 nuke to 1, and Zhonghao attempting for the top one as well. Looks like L5 are just going to severely get more nukes here, but Robodoba trying to prevent that.
Yeah, it looks like L5 will get 3 out of the 4 nukes on account of their level 10 being reached already and the way that they position themselves. 2-on-1 is always good, and they sent Greymane bottom, wrestled away that nuke from Azmodan, and the final one here is going to be tough. Brightwing Global porting up. It's a 4 versus 3. Cocoon gets used on Tassadar. Dimensional Shift is already down. Tassadar
gets kicked. He's cleansed to try and get him out. Pops the Archon to keep himself alive. Tracer dropping some damage, trying to kill off Brightwing. They get it. She drops the nuke. Now it's Muradin in the backline, trying to focus down STS. The Archon focusing down on Nubarak, who burrows to freedom. He's getting attacked by the camp, but now it's Tracer trying to deal with Chen, who pops the Earthstorm Fire, trying to keep himself alive. And Noob's getting chased by the missile. He may die to the fort here. He goes down. And they're able to pick up yet another. The nuke was used, though, but that is 3 kills going over to Nomia.
Tychus actually using his nuclear missile, as he must have known in the offside of the camera that he would be taken down, and he says, if I can't have it, no one can. Very nice turnaround here for Nomia, and L5 in an uncharacteristic, chaotic demise here. 3 takedowns against them. They lose their nukes, and we're unable to bring that about to bear upon Nomia. And for the first time this game, Nomia takes an experienced lead.
They do, and they still have 2 nukes available. Vanilla gonna be back for mana. Azmodan, by the way, did go for that black pool. And here we go, Arkana. He did spot Nacho didn't do it. We get some pings. Looks like they want to try and do this. The Locust there, the Beetle, did scout this out. Tracer moving in, going to try to hold down the fort here. Muradin moving in. The bomb was used, but now Anub is on the point. They should use the nuke, but instead they're going to retreat. But no, now there's been a cocoon dropped, and Tracer is in serious trouble.
Tracer.
Can they follow up? No, they can't. Tracer blinking out. Arkana. Perfect timing on the getting out of the cocoon, and Noblesse not following up in time.
Now, every time L5 does something like this, it looks like they come out not ahead. They don't get the kill, but keep in mind, Chen never came down in the rotation. He's been getting some value in the top here with that camp. Small experience lead to L5. Tracer now going after Chen, but he must be way clear, way safe.
Yeah, he is playing very near his base, keeping himself alive, keeping himself sustained as he plays further back. But now Robodoba, who has a nuke, getting focused. Tassadar moving in. That's enough to force L5 to back up. They were pushing very far away from their own fortifications.
Every game we see, Nomia is getting better and better. And now using Azmodan for the first time in the entire mid-season Brawl, here on the 6th day of it, after the initial 5 days in the group stage, Azmodan sees play. Yep. And so far, it's looking good. He's providing a bit of map control, a bit of extra damage. But it's basically been a story here of Tassadar, Tracer, getting away with murder, basically, in the game anyway.
However, this is going to get worse for L5 if it goes on. Azmodan on 21 out of 25 stacks. He's soon going to be fully stacked on his Sieging Wrath. so he's going to be able to do even more poke damage and assist with that crazy blow-up that the Tracer Tassadar has.
This is not a fight that Nomia wants to be taking.
No,
they need to get out of here.
Back it up. Robodoma still has the nuke. Doesn't make it over the wall. There's the
nice
polymorph, but the cleanse on the Cocoon. Robodoma survives Twilight Dream and many more. Here comes Tracer to try and turn it around. Nacho Jin just surviving, though.
Now, Vanilla could have gotten out. He could have walked away, but he instead decided to compromise his position, get the Twilight Dream, get the follow-up, but it's not the heroics that they wanted to be using. Now there's no Twilight Dream. L5 used nothing in that, so Nomia needs to dodge a fight or risk a bad fight in the next 65 seconds.
Here comes the Burrow Charge, trying to take down Mouth. The grenade falls to get back as well. He iceblocks to block and he follow-up, drops a crazy root on 3 heroes. But Tracer blown up in the backline. Earth's on fire, trying to dive Vanilla, which they get. And Asmodan getting zoned out too. The nuke attempted to be used there by Taz, but he's focused down too. Everything is lost here for Nomia. It's just a single nuke on Robodoma, who's trying to hold the line, but he's focused down too.
L5 taking the perfect fight, recognizing that Twilight Dream is down. They force the fight. They do a lot of damage to Mouth. Ice Block being too late. Basically, after all the damage got done by L5, Mouth pops Ice Block, realizes it was useless, pops it out, stays near the fight, and the Panda Pals go for Mouth. And finally, Odin, from way downtown, shoots the Ragnarok missiles and finish off Malfurion. And L5 uses the nuke, goes for the boss.
Fighting for it. It's 2 versus 5.
But Muradin?
Down he goes. He loses the nuke. Tracer coming in. Like, that was ambitious.
Why did Muradin jump in? He actually tanks the boss.
That was way too early.
He tanks the boss for L5, gives the nuke, doesn't use it before his team reaches when the boss is still half-life. Big mistake here by Robodoma. And after a very good early and mid-game, L5 now has a big lead. And they actually stand to finish the game here. They got 3 nukes and a boss.
They have 2 nukes available on their person. Now 3 as they just picked one up. They very nearly found Asmo down there in that bush, but he was able to sneak his way back to his own base. Level 16 is about to be available for L5 as well. Talent advantage, boss, and 3 nukes. What more do you need, L5?
1 nuke on the keep, 2 on the core. That's the play here. Textbook. They use it. Nuke gets used to zone, you get the damage in, boss walks in, keep guaranteed. And unless Nomia can get a kill here, this is looking like a game-ending fight here.
Robodoma having to leap to freedom, using that armor to keep himself alive from the Dwarf Toss. Lots of damage being dropped, but the keep shall go down. Earthstorm Fire
Malfurion!
in advance. Malfurion drops the Twilight Dream, but he does go down. The Earthstorm Fire is cleared up quite quickly. Now we see Tassadar having to retreat. First nuke on the core. The Cocoon getting popped, but Robodoma focused down, as is Malfurion. He was already taken down. And wow, this is just everyone dying. Just John and Fat94 left. Fat94 trying to retreat into the keep. He's taken out by the grenade. It's just John. The keep's going down. That is GG. And that is going to be L5 taking the series in a 3-0.
Double nuclear missile on the Cocoon. And Muradin just gets blown up. Tracer zoned out. They destroy the core in a textbook. Perfect, beautiful ending there. L5 has done it.
Yes, they have. They will be moving on. Unfortunately, that means it will be time to say goodbye to Nomia. This is the lower bracket. There is no second chance.
Very much so. Nomia has gone down here in the loser bracket, but they have availed themselves admirably.
Yes, they did crazy good in this and the last game and even the first one. Every single time we see them at a tournament, they seem to just keep improving. At Western Clash, now at mid-season Brawl, if they keep up at this rate, who can stop them if they keep climbing at this level?
Exactly. Just 3 months ago, Nomia lost both of their matches 1 and 2. But here, they went 1-2-2 in the group stage. They won a match, 2 ties and a loss. And here, they challenged L5. They did good in some drafts. They did good in some parts of the game, but over the whole, L5 was just a little bit too strong for them. We expected that, but still, amazing fight here put up by Nomia.
Yeah, but L5 will be the team that is moving on. To talk to you about that more and the other series we have coming up today, we're sending you back over to our analysis desk.
That's right, indeed. Commiserations for Nomia, who are now eliminated from the tournament. However, a big moment for L5, getting themselves a win on the board, 3-0, now able to advance on to the next round, guys.
Yeah, L5 won the game the way they were supposed to win it. They did not show anything either. The Australians with a great showing so far, so that has to be respected. Yep. But it's just a different level of play that we're seeing from the Korean team.
And for me, with Nomia specifically, like we know that they've had that growth and we've only complimented them. But the one thing for me still that is so very impressive is the lack of competition that exists within the region and the fact that they continuously grow.
Yeah,
I think that self-motivation and drive for a region that debatably, you know, it feels like they don't have the incentive. At least their motivation isn't there. But this 5-man roster seems to really care and really grow. And I really respect that.
And I think the big thing about that, that's one of the things I want to highlight, is this is a highlight we're going to have. I want to go ahead and talk about this recap here. And let's just pause it so we can frame it real quick, is that we've got obviously the contention over the nuke, the warhead, and everything from L5 at this point. This is a 10 versus 9 to start off with. Noblesse is going to start here as we move it forward. Now, your primary target is going to be here as we see the cocoon go out. Now, normally this is a death sentence, and let's pause real quick, because exactly what happens here is the fact that Vanilla gets split out and Arcaner's here. Now, that's actually not the worst deal. And the thing about it is that the cocoon is the primary target. That's normally a death sentence. It's going to expire, and you're going to see. The good thing is that's Tassadar, and we're going to pause here because there's several key things that are happening, because down at the bottom, Azmodan is soaking experience. Now, he's going to go ahead and shift, and as we move forward here, you can see the full gank squad coming in. Now, if you pause, go back to who we talked about earlier, Vanilla. We see the polymorph. Now, we move forward, you're going to see a poly and a body block, and Vanilla's going to come down and flank. He's going to get the cleanse here. That's actually a really big deal. Now, the key thing, pause right here, level 10 hits. That allows an insta-lock onto Archon and allows him to use his E because it resets his E. Now we see the full commitment. I want to go back just for one more second here, because we also have another player here, Arcaner. If we move forward, Soy on the back line, keep an eye on that, Arcaner. Now let's move forward. He now finds an opening to get onto Soy. Soy starts to take damage. He gets hit with the melee. Soy, however, blinks forward. However, Arcaner stays on it, gets the pulse bomb in. Back to Vanilla. Pause here. Vanilla re-enters the fight. There's so many plays being made by this team. Yeah. Now all of a sudden we have the Twilight Dream. We're going to hit that, and we'll roll it forward from here. He's going to land that, silence a few members. The rest of the team, there's going to be some roots that go down. There's a lot of redeeming qualities in Nomia's team fighting. They started that 10 versus 9. The minute 10 locked in, they re-engaged. They found the openings to exploit a few holes into L5. So this was actually a team fight that went really well for Nomia, and I just want to say that the things that they do and the things that they do individually is one of the things we were just talking about that they do so well. Super impressed by them.
And we are joined by SCSC from L5, hello, as well as our Korean translator. I want to ask first, going up against Nomia, obviously you come in as the favorite, but there has to have been things that you were concerned about when initially approaching Nomia. So what were those going into the series?
일단 그 승리 축하드리고요. 노미아랑 상대할 때 이제 좀 유리할 거라는 생각이 많았는데 그게 조금 부담이 되지 않았나 싶어요. 그거에 대해서 조금 얘기해 주시죠.
저희는 뭐 딱히 부담은 없었고 그냥 이겨야 될 상대였기 때문에 네, 그냥 이긴 것 같고 다음 상대만 좀 조심하면 될 것 같아요.
We weren't really pressured much by like the expectations. We just won because we should have won, and we're more worried about our next opponent.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, talking about the next opponent, so they go up against the loser out of the match between Easter and Fnatic. Who would they like to face more out of the two, and why?
다음 상대가 이스타랑 프나틱 경기에 패자랑 경기를 하게 되는데요. 누구를 좀 더 만나고 싶나요? 그리고 이유.
그래도 이제 그나마 해본 이스타랑 해보고 싶고 좀 프나틱은 아직 저희가 대회에서 안 해봤어요, 이번 대회에서. 그래서 이스타는 이제 좀 파이법이 나온 것 같아서 한번 다시 해보고 싶어요.
We want to face E-Star because we faced against them already. Fnatic, we still haven't faced them in this tournament, and I think we have a hold of how to beat E-Star, so we would rather face E-Star than Fnatic.
Expectations are clearly high for L5 given your track record, BlizzCon, Gold Club, and then throughout the season you were undefeated. Are those expectations weighing on you and your team at all, or are you guys coming in here with the same confidence as every other tournament?
일단 작년 블리즈컨 그리고 골드 클럽 그리고 그 HGC 첫 시즌 때 무패로 해서 조금 그런 게 좀 무게가 좀 심하지 않나 싶은데요. 그거에 대해서 조금 설명해 주시죠.
솔직히 저희가 좀 여기 오기 전까지는 좀 무게감이 없었어요. 근데 여기 와서 좀 지고 나니까 좀 무게감이 많이 생긴 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 그 부담감을 떨치는 게 중요한 것 같아요.
So those expectations weren't weighing on us before we came to the tournament, but once we got here and lost a couple of games, it's starting to get to us a little bit. And I think just disregarding the pressure would be the key to winning the rest of the games.
All right, well, thank you very much, SCSC, as we do look in with the brackets now to see how things have been going down so far, as well as what is to come. You can see there down towards the bottom, L5 have been able to grab themselves a 3-0 victory over Nomia. And unfortunately for Nomia, unfortunately for our ANZ boys, they are now out of the tournament. So a nice attempt there going up against L5, however, just a little short of the mark. Always nice to hear from SCSC as well. One of my favorite Terrans from the back in StarCraft 2 days, so it's always a joy to be able to get to talk to him.
Yeah, one of the things that most people also don't know is actual nickname is SC. The only reason why we have SCSC is because of character restrictions.
True. He had to have more than 2 letters, I think.
Exactly.
Right? All right, so overall though, L5 looking good in that series, but I think the lion's share of the big task ahead of them is definitely yet to come.
I think the fact that we see SE trying to admit that mentality is a huge thing for this squad.
Yeah.
It really is. They are their biggest enemy, I feel like, for this tournament, and it's shown. So it's just moving forward. They respect their next opponent, and they have fear towards them. But I feel like if they find it within themselves, there's not a single team they can't beat.
It's amazing the attitudes. I remember BlizzCon interviews and the videos that they showed about the confidence of the Korean players. They were always like, yeah, we're going to come in, we expect to win, things are going to be easy, a lot more on MVP Black side. But it seems like confidence is definitely waning on both sides. Even earlier when we watched the Mary Day interview, he's saying the same words, but without the same type of confidence. It's more in a joking manner instead of like, nah, we're going to win. It's now like, yeah, we're going to win. It's going to be fun. And it's different. It feels different.
It definitely does. All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, as we are going to go to a short break in a few moments here. But of course, after that, we do have 2 American teams currently in the tournament, but we'll be breaking that down to just 1 as Roll20 is going to go up against Tempo Storm here for the mid-season brawl. Don't go anywhere.